Over the years, I've collected hundreds and hundreds of books on English word origins and etymology and the history of the English language and other English language oddities and facts and trivia. I'll show you a few of my favorite books, especially ones that you can more easily find either online or in a used bookstore. You know, I was thinking that this video could turn out to be a disaster for me, in the sense that it could flop, but maybe that's its destiny. You see, the word disaster. That word itself is an interesting word. Back when people believed that the stars controlled their fate, a disaster meant that heavens were against you. Disaster literally means ill star, a bad omen, bad fortune. You see, those little word surprises are everywhere in the English language. They're hiding in plain sight in the words we use every day. Even consider the word consider. Did you know that the stars are actually hiding within it as well? You see, con means with, and the cider comes from aster, meaning star, constellations, heavenly bodies. So to consider is to contemplate the stars. You see, that's what happens when you start considering etymology, the origin of words. The word etymology itself comes from the Greek etymos, meaning true, and logos, meaning word. So etymology is the study of a word's true meaning, or rather its original meaning. And by original, I mean in the Latin sense. It's birth, because in Latin, originum means birth, how it arose. The root of originum is oriri, meaning to rise. And that's why we get the word the Orient, because that is the direction, the east, where the sun rises, where the light rises. And that's why we have to reorientate our entire view of words, see their true meaning. And once you know where a word came from, you never see that word the same ever again. So hopefully at the end of this video, you will say video, which in Latin means I see.
Video, I see.
And this leads me to one of my favorite books on etymology. One of the first books that really lit the fire in me, that actually made me laugh out loud a few times. Just a very clever and witty book on word origins. Just a masterpiece. It doesn't just explain where words come from and phrases come from. It's so good at stringing together all the words like in one big intellectual chain where one word unexpectedly rolls into the next one. It's so well done. This wonderful book is called Etymologicon by Mark Forsyth, and the subtitle says it all. A circular stroll through the hidden connections of the English language. Etymologicon is actually widely available. It's available on audible.com. I highly recommend it. It has a great narrator. Now, I'm not sponsored by Audible, although one day that would be awesome. Audible, give me a call. But Audible also they have so many good books on word origins, actually. They have a couple great courses. They're like university courses. Two of them, which I've listened to, that I highly recommend, is one by John McWhorter. He's a great author on the English language and word origins and everything to do with languages. It's wonderful. His book is called, or his course is Myths, Lies, and Half-Truths of Language Usage. And it's actually 12 hours long. It's a great listen. There's also one by a Professor Anne Curzan. It's called The Secret Life of Words, English Words and Their Origins. And it's 8.5 hours long. That's excellent as well. So those two I highly recommend on Audible. There are so many other great books in my collection that have fed my love of word origins. And this next one, it's not the most in-depth of books. It really just explains a word or a phrase briefly, like very briefly, a few sentences. But it's hard to put down. It's very interesting trivia. Why do we say that? Where did that phrase come from? Where did that idiom come from? And this book holds a special place in my heart because, unknown to me, it was in my mother's library, and she passed away 10 years ago. And this book was passed on to me. And it became special to me. And ever since I've had it in my possession, I keep seeing this book in used bookstores. It immediately makes me think of my mother. And it just feels like my mom's with me. Like, it's hard to describe. It's very, very weird that I just see this bright yellow book and this is what it looks like. And I immediately think of my mom. That's why this book has a special place in my heart. The book is from 1985 and there's no author listed, but it's called Why Do We Say It? The Stories Behind the Words, Expressions, and Cliches We Use. It's a good book. There's also a great series of books. It's 4 volumes. It's called Now You Know, The Book of Answers. Why We Say It, Where It Came From, How It Happened, Why Do We Do It, by Doug Lennox. It goes a little bit more in depth than the yellow book, but I feel that you could go even deeper. And that's what I like to do in these videos. Like, take that as a starting point, do more research, find hidden connections, and really try to bring it alive. But it's a gold mine. If this video hasn't been a disaster so far, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm so close to hitting the 1,000 subscribers, and your one click could just push me over the edge. I really would appreciate it. Thanks for being a part of it. Then there are 2 books by 2 different Funks. I didn't know that was a popular last name. Wilfred Funk has this phenomenal book called Word Origins, an exploration history of words and language. It's a great book. Excellently done. And then there's a book by Charles Funk. It's called Thereby Hangs a Tale. It's also very well done. There are many other very cool and interesting books. The problem is that fewer and fewer people actually read a physical book these days. They do enjoy listening to books on Audible or listening to a podcast, but very few will go hunting for some of these golden books at used bookstores. And this is one reason why I created this channel. It's just to really funnel and distill and reimagine and visually represent all these great word origins. The facts are there, the history is there. I didn't invent them, but I'm hoping that I can present it in a way that's entertaining and humorous. I see humor all the time. I'm always joking. It's everywhere. And I see humor in these words, in these stories. I see, oh, there's a meme reference. Oh, there's a good movie reference there. And I just enjoy doing that. It's a hobby. It's what makes me an amateur. Words. And I love word origins. And that's why I do what I do. One last book that heavily influenced me on my love of word origins is one that I read over 20 years ago now. It was a real pleasure to read. It really was. And it really stoked my curiosity. It was written by the prolific author and American-British journalist, Bill Bryson. The book is called The Mother Tongue, English and How It Got That Way, also available on Audible. This book really made me appreciate the English language. It has its quirks, pros and cons, but overall, it's a great language. And now, you're wise to the words.